Hello world. Yes, the death of Black Girl Magic Kamala Harris. Yes, identity politics is no longer going to work for Kamala Harris. However, moving forward, now that the Democrat National Convention is over and her economic opportunity plan has been implemented, she not has once talked about the migrant illegal immigration migrant issue. However, she flips flops and makes this statement you must hear.
You said in 2019, when you first ran, there was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally, and there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws, and I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
If you go by his Truth Social feed, Trump was watching intently, sharing an avalanche of posts attacking Harris and others. And you know what? He immediately called into Fox News after Harris finished speaking.
The biggest reaction is, why didn't she do the things that she's complaining about? All of these things that she talked about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do everything, but she didn't do any of it. She could have done it 3.5 years ago.
And there will be no change under Kamala Harris. Zero.
Now, if anyone watched Kamala Harris's economic plan debate or whatever you want to call it, she never mentioned about the immigration crisis. However, she talked about Gaza and Palestine incident. Just listen.
Middle-class dances to whatever tune they play.
Moving to Kamala and Netanyahu's speech, after he was done, he actually had a meeting with Kamala Harris, and following their meeting, this is what she said to reporters.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time. We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
Now, there is this push and messaging by Kamala supporters that she'll somehow be different than Biden when it comes to Gaza. And you were saying that you don't think that's true. But there is that push in the media, isn't there?
Rhetorically, she's slightly different from Biden. But remember, Biden finally woke up after a few months and expressed rather tepid concern for the civilians of Gaza. Well, if they're that concerned about the slaughter of the Palestinians, why don't they stop arming them? That will never happen. So I don't really care. I mean, obviously, she is using the rhetoric of empathy or compassion as a mask to continue arming and supporting the Israeli genocide. Remember, she also, in that statement, talked about Israel's right to defend itself. So, no, the rhetoric changes. I mean, and if you want to be fooled by that, that's your business. But rhetorical statements are kind of meaningless, given the quantity of weapons, including 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs and F-35s and everything else that we're unloading onto Israel, so it can continue the slaughter. And Israel is talking about this genocide continuing in terms of active military assaults until the end of this year.
I mean, is it even possible for her to distance herself from Biden's Gaza policy?
That would presume that she wants to, and she doesn't. So, no, there's zero change. I mean, first of all, it's Congress that controls. It's Congress that allocates the money. And as we saw with Netanyahu's speech, these people are completely captive to the Israel lobby. They couldn't stand up and cheer fast enough. So the fact that the Israel lobby has essentially seized the Congress means that even if you had a candidate, and Harris is not a candidate who would do this, who opposed arming Israel and holding Israel accountable for the genocide, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Remember that the last time Netanyahu spoke was during the Obama administration, and he was invited to attack Obama's Iran nuclear deal. So essentially he was subverting the policies of the executive branch.
And there you have it, folks. Couldn't be said any better. Kamala again, the scammer. As you can see, she stands on no issue. As again it was said, she flip-flops. She feels sorry for Gaza, but again she won't admit that the United States is supplying money for war weapons to Israel to keep what's happening going on. So again, the question must be asked, Kamala, come out from hiding. Again, the question should be asked, does she love America? Because she seems to be hiding because she does not want to deal with the current situation as vice president of the illegal migration issue. That's causing a national public safety concern for us common folks. So again, Kamala, people must realize, she actually wants government centralized decision making. And the fact that she has not talked about any policies of such, immigration, the fact that she has not conducted any interviews, and that she's avoiding debates, public debates without any cards, shows again her real concern about America. So the question should be asked, does she loves America? Or again, does she love the immigrants more than American citizens? Because what's happening in this country is just a mess. Just take a look. More importantly, we're only 2 months and 3 days away from the presidential election on November 5th, 2024. And so what the public or citizens should realize is that though Vice President Kamala Harris is currently the Vice President, she tried to use that whole ploy of distraction, of having that big Democratic National Convention referred as either family reunion by one of her people. That's just what it is. She tried to use theatrics to stay away from major issues. As such, the main issue with me is definitely immigration policy. The fact that she never addressed this issue or failed to mention anything at all about the illegal immigration policy, I discovered possibly why. The amount of money that's given to the illegals from taxpayers is off the chain. For example, illegal immigrants can actually apply for public benefits depending on their immigration status and their income, believe it or not. And who knew? You don't even have to be a permanent resident. But again, just an undocumented illegal immigrant, and then you can apply for certain benefits, not only on their behalf, but on the behalf of their children and family members, I might add. So despite the high numbers of illegal immigrants in this country now, versus the homeless citizens crisis, you would think that public benefits should be a major concern for, we'll say, the working poor. Because again, when she mentions middle class, I don't know what that is. So what the public should primarily be scared about is the fact that you have a vice president, Kamala Harris, who currently does not give a damn about the citizens of this state or country when it comes to public benefits. She rather gives them to the illegal than to citizens. For example, a pregnant immigrant can receive New York State Medicaid in addition to Section 8 housing, which is open again to illegal immigrants versus a homeless citizen. Now this is crazy because again, as we know, the homeless crisis that's taking place in these cities again, New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, California, Washington, or just all over, it's just off the chain. So the fact that you can be a legal immigrant to come to the United States to apply for these benefits, take away from the homeless citizens, it's just ludicrous. This explains why in 2019, Kamala Harris, at the time, she was running for vice president, raised a hand to the question of do we decriminalize in the borders?